Okay, as my friends say, we already have the final tau and the final DC gain. So I already calculate the potentiometer data. So this is gonna be potentiometer 5. It's going to be 0.5929. So we just need to change the value and from the potentiometer 5, and potentiometer 2 is going to be 1 divided by 100 times the final tau, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be 0.40. So let me show you first. Those are the ends of the connection. This is the input and this is the output from the GP6.
Yeah, the white one is the output.
Yep. So right now just do that. Just unplug the cables that we have from the motors.
Not that one. Oh yeah, yes, yeah.
So the input goes to the output
Of the board.
and the output from the GP6 is going to the input of the board.
You don't need the encoder, so you can remove the encoder as well.
Yeah, we don't need to.
And it is important to remember the channel number, because the channel that you plugged the output of the GP6 in, and if you have a different channel on your Simulink, then you will not get any data, and it will just show up as noise. Also, before you start taking data, it is important to see whether any of the connections with the ground and everything are good and nothing shorted, because if you short them out, you will again get noise and no data, and we don't want that to happen.
Okay, so for potentiometer 5 we have 0.5929. So we proceed to put this value. Yeah, it's good like that. And for potentiometer 6 is going to be 0.40. So goes down. Okay.
Great.
And
So now just
now
put it into OPR mode. Yep. Everything else is set and we are set to go.
yeah, we just need to run the programming again.
Yep, we are not getting any input. That is because, as I said, we have the channels wrong. So if you put the wrong channels, you will see that. Another thing to note about WinCon is, no matter what you change, you have to rebuild your model again.
Yep, I got it wrong. So I have to change to 1, 0. And we have to build again.
Yeah.
Let me do that. So okay, we're good. Just let me fix the y-axis 4 and -4 to get all of the output. Then you just ready to run the program. You see.
And if you see, you get a nice step response. The good thing about this is it's not as noisy as the motor because it's coming out of op amps, so you can pretty much do anything with analog electronics and make it look nice.
Yeah.
So the goal of this lab is to calculate the K and tau from this response that you get from the GP6 and make it match as closely as possible to the one that you got from your motor. The better you do it, the better for you, because The next labs rely heavily on these settings, so you may have to play with the parts on the GP6 in order to get them to match closely, because it depends upon the temperature, the operating characteristics, the calibration of the GP6. We don't even know if anything in the part is off, the resistors have become non-linear, so you may have to play quite a bit to get it to match closely, but it should not be difficult.
Okay. After that, we just do the same thing. We calculate the final tau and the
K from the GP6.
The K from the GP6. So we just run the program. Be sure that, for example, if you are saving the data with the same name, you are deleting the previous outputs that you have from the motor. So be sure that you can change the name right here. If you don't mind, you can just change it, or
or save the data from the motor in a different place before you run the code again, so you don't lose it.
So we just run the program, and we have the final K tau. It's going to be 0. It's almost. It's
Wow,
good.
that is pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see the final K. That's pretty close too.
Yeah.
So
It's good.
for first try, without having to play with the parts, those are good results, but if you want, you can go ahead and fine tune them.
Yeah.
But you will then, after this, you will have to superimpose both the plots from the GP6 and the motor to see how closely they match.
Yep.
And otherwise, that's all for this lab. It's a
Yep.
pretty nice and sweet
That's
lab.
it. Okay. Thanks.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.